Okay, here we go. My little weekly ride with me while we chit chat. So, I got a couple things on my mind. First thing is, let's see, I got some cleaning and reselling and just my garden. I'll do my garden first. So, it's been hot here, and I mean hot. Like 97 and 98 degrees with this disgusting level of humidity. It's been really bad, okay? And so here we are. It's the beginning of August. Can you believe that already? August? So normally I don't do this, but this year, especially since Georgia has a long growing season, I decided that I'm gonna do a double planting this year. So my squashes didn't really do that great, and my cucumbers didn't do that great. And I have videos if you want to see how my garden looked. So I pulled all those out about a week or so ago, and I have planted some new things in there, one of which is beans. I planted green beans. I planted two kinds of green beans, and the reason why is because green beans are supposed to put things back into the soil, nitrogen or something like that. And so I'm hoping that on that side of the garden where my squash and my cucumbers were that did not do well, and you could tell there's a difference in the soil, like it's just hard and clumpy and dry. It doesn't hold the water, and I'm just hoping that doing that will help bring the soil back. But I did plant, I planted more cucumbers, and actually I planted 4 different kinds, and they just started coming up yesterday, and today I went out and looked at them. And so I've planted your regular green cucumbers that everybody's familiar with, and then I got the they called them the Boston picklers, so the little cucumbers, I have those coming up. And then I have 2 heirloom varieties. One is, they're called Armenian cucumbers, and they're white. They don't even look like cucumbers, they look more like a gourd, but yeah, they're white, and they just started coming up this morning. And then I have another one that they call lemon, which I've actually seen these before. They're yellow and round. They're not shaped like a cucumber, just what we're familiar with. They're round, but they taste just like a cucumber. So I'm waiting for them. And by the way, if you hear this kind of nasally sound, I don't know what's going on. I got some kind of allergy, just started a couple days ago, so figures, right? Anyway, I got my cucumbers in. I planted them, I think, at the beginning of the week, and I also planted beets, and what was the other thing? Spinach. I planted 2 kinds of spinach. So I got one that's in the ground, and I got one that I planted in a laundry basket, believe it or not. I've decided to do some container planting, and laundry baskets seem to work out good. And I go through laundry baskets like crazy, and they drive me crazy because they start breaking, and I have to go to a laundromat to do my laundry, so I need a good sturdy basket to whatever. And when they break, it makes me mad because I spent the money on them, and they're not cheap anymore. And so I'm turning them into planters. I just line them with the plastic and fill them with dirt. And so I have beets planted in one, and I've had potatoes planted in another one on my deck, and they should be ready for harvest pretty soon. Hopefully we'll find out how that went. But that's what's going on with my garden. I'm going to be planting peas soon too, because my tomatoes are kind of starting to wither away too. So I'm going to plant peas up there on that end, and peas are supposed to put nutrients back into the ground too. So I'm going to plant some of those soon. Now that okay, so reselling. So here's what's going on with that, my thoughts on that. So, we've been talking about this new USPS shipping policy. Okay, that's kind of old news now, right? But I noticed on Grailed, because I use List Perfectly. So Grailed is one of the platforms that I sell on, and they've changed. It used to be like you could pick the postage depending on the weight of the item, right? Whatever the weight was, that was how much it cost to ship it through Grailed. Now they don't do that. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I don't know how they can figure it out. I tried to do some research and see what I could find out. But basically, I think they're just going to take a pot shot, and say, okay, this is how much you're going to pay for shipping for this item, which I think is kind of risky on their part because, for example, you could sell a t-shirt. So a small t-shirt might be only about 4 ounces, right? But a 5X t-shirt could be well over a pound. So, I know I probably made more of a difference when we had first class because there's a broader weight that falls under this parcel advantage, ground advantage, whatever they're calling it now. So I don't know, unless they have some kind of a deal maybe worked out with the postal service. But yeah, and they're saying it's easier, I guess. I mean, I haven't sold anything there yet, so I don't know. But that just seems almost too easy. I don't know how else to say it. And then Mercari is doing bundling now, which I think is kind of cool because they should have been doing that all along. They're like way behind as far as that goes. And I think they're kind of modeling it after what Poshmark does. Now, I don't know what the grade of the postage is going to be, but I believe, I forgot what the weight limit on it is. It's higher than Poshmark. It might, it's up to 10 items and under $2,000, which is that's a lot. That's a lot. And it's supposed to be very seamless as well. The buyer, when they go to checkout, will, follow the steps and the prompts to get the bundling option. And then, as a seller, all you have to do is print the label and make sure everything's all in one package. And the other thing is they are not allowing returns on bundled items for just one piece. So if somebody buys, say, 10 articles of clothing and, the pair of pants don't fit, but everything else fits great, they have to return the whole bundle. They can't just return the pants. They're not going to allow like a partial refund or anything like that. So I don't know if that would deter people or not, but I sell a lot of like items anyway. Like, of course, clothing comes in like items, but I have like right now a bunch of Longaberger basket liners and more to come actually. So, a collector may want more than one piece from me, depending on the baskets that they have. So things like that, it could make it very convenient for both the seller and the buyer, which I think is great. And I don't know what took them so long, to be honest with you. But that's what's going on with Mercari. And, again, they're going by the weight that we put in, so that's how they're going to do theirs. So at least they have that to work with to figure it out. But they did say it's going to be the cheapest option for the buyer, which is good. That makes sense. But Mercari, they use all different kinds of shipping providers as well. They use FedEx and they use UPS as well as USPS. And so that's the only thing. If you're one of those seller, or if you're in a location where you have a hard time getting access to UPS or USPS, that may be a problem for you. I'm not sure. But, if you live in an area like where I live, where, there's a lot of conveniences areas, it might not be such a problem. So that was pretty cool. Now, here's the big thing. So, I was supposed to do a live show on Poshmark this Sunday because I have all those t-shirts. I have 100 t-shirts. And I've been a little frustrated lately. So here's what's been going on in my house. You know, I clean houses, and you know, Ray, he's a double amputee, and I'm not young. I'm getting old. This is starting to really take its toll on me as far as my body is concerned, and I want to retire, you know, eventually, fairly soon. I say I'm looking at it. I don't have a date yet, but it's coming, okay? And that's what I'm working towards with, and that's why you hear me putting so much emphasis on the reselling business. But, you know, I am still working as a cleaning lady. And as far as this all ties together, I swear to God, the reselling business, I started out of my house, and it became like this giant monster. It was taking over my whole house. I had things shoved under my bed, and I had things stuck in different places, and I had my bins stacked up in what would be my dining area, and my dining room had a printer on it, and it had stuff that I was working on, and it was just chaos, okay? And I had to make sure that, it's not such a problem now, but when Ray was in a wheelchair, I had to make sure that things didn't get in the way of his wheelchair, and, you know, it was just all this different stuff. Well, then I had gotten all those electric blankets, and I didn't have the space for it, so I talked to Janice about it, and I'm renting out a space in her house. So I have the space that I live in that I rent from her, and the space that I work in for the reselling business that I rent from her. So it's increased my rent. It's not ridiculous what I pay for it, but it's, you know, it is another expense. And I was using it, but I still had a lot of stuff on my side of, you know, where I live, okay? And just other things. Everything had gotten so far behind, and you know, it was becoming overwhelming, to be honest with you, because I'm tired and I'm sore, and I'm trying so hard to get, you know, this other business going and make sure that I can cover the expenses of it, and, you know, all this different stuff that's going through my head, and trying to take care of Ray. And so I had somebody come in. When did she come? I want to say Friday she came. Friday afternoon, I think, and started cleaning my kitchen. That's all I had her do. It was a friend of mine. I had her clean my kitchen, and I paid for it. You know, I paid her. And she did a really deep clean. She tore everything apart and did a deep clean on my kitchen, and it made such a big difference, okay? Well, meanwhile, I was working on my store while she was there, so I was going back and forth just to help, you know, help her if she had questions and that kind of thing. But it was so nice to come home and have the house smell clean, you know, for a change, because matter of fact, I didn't even know what that felt like, so now I know what my customers feel like when they come home and they're like, oh, it smells so good in here, you know. It's a wonderful feeling, and you look around and you can see what somebody's done, like the cleaning fairies have been there while you were out, and it's great. So anyway, I had her do that, and it helped me kind of get some motivation. So over the weekend, I took all these other bins that are just sitting in my dining area, not doing me any good, okay, because they were full of things that need to be listed, and getting them over there onto the selling side. I got all of my shipping stuff over to the selling side, so I have very little in my apartment that has to do with the reselling business. I do have some things on some shelves, but other than that, what is this person doing? I wish I'd get out of my spot here. Making me nervous. I have some, you know, some knick-knacky type things on some shelving that's going to stay there because I'm not moving the shelves, okay? They're big shelves, heavy shelves. So they're gonna stay on my side. I feel a sneeze coming. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, I always sneeze loud. Oh my goodness. Okay, that feels better. So yes, I've been throwing stuff away. The trash bin is completely full to the top. Stuff that's not, it's just not worth keeping. And got rid of a bunch of stuff and started cleaning that. And I feel so much better about it. Like, I feel like this is the way it's supposed to. Well, it is the way it's supposed to be. Normal people have a dining room table that they can eat off of. It's not, well, it's, I guess this is a common problem too, but you're supposed to be able to eat off your dining room table, not, have it covered with clutter, etc. So I'm working on that, getting my workspace more streamlined and getting my house space more streamlined, and just that kind of stuff. And it's really very satisfying. And what I did was, for two reasons. First of all, because I used the Fly Lady's 15-minute system or strategy, I guess. So basically, over the weekend, while I was working on moving the rest of the stuff over and getting a little more organized, what I would do is set a timer for 15 minutes, and I'd work for 15 minutes, okay? Whatever it was that I was working on, it was 15 minutes. And her method, normally it's like 15 minutes, you work in one space, 15 in the next space. Marathon cleaning, that's what she calls it. 15 minutes in a third space, and then that fourth 15-minute increment, you take a break. Well, because I'm going back and forth in and out of the heat, and like I told you, it's extremely hot here right now. We're in the middle of a heat wave. I was working 15 minutes and then taking like maybe 10-minute break, making sure I got something to drink, sit down for a minute, because I'm also doing like a lot of heavy lifting and moving furniture and things like that, so it was not just regular cleaning. This was like big time hard work. And I got it done, and I gotta say, setting a timer really, it helps you stay focused, for one thing. It keeps you from getting distracted, which, is so easy to do in your home, and when you have a timer set, if somebody tries to pull your attention away from what you're doing, you can say, give me 5 minutes, give me 10 minutes, give me 15 minutes tops, and then you can go finish what you're doing, and then go find out what it is they need, and as long as it's not an emergency, obviously, but it helps you stay focused on what you're doing. And there's nothing wrong with asking somebody to wait. They don't need a drink right this minute, or a sandwich right this minute, or answer your, watch. There's so many things that pull your attention away from what you're trying to do that can wait, or, it's just not that important. So, I got that going, I'm getting my control journal back into swing. It's the Fly Lady thing, like I told you about. It's the weirdest thing that, I can clean somebody else's house and get it done in a few hours. And I mean, I clean huge houses. This house I'm cleaning today has 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a huge kitchen, a family room, an office, and a living room, and a foyer. Anything else? And of course, stairs and hall, and a bonus room. And I can get it done between 4 and 5 hours. My own house, which is a kitchen, a living room, a dining room, a bedroom, and a bathroom. It's the size of a 2-car garage, and I can't seem to get it done. It's ridiculous. So anyway, back to my life. I'm I'm gonna use the Fly Lady, and that way I can squeeze 15 minutes a day in to get something done, as opposed to trying to do the whole thing in one day. There's and just cycle through it once I get everything back under control, and that seems to be the best way to do it. Especially if I'm tired and I'm sore, then I just endure for that small period of time. So I wanted to put that out there, not just, because I have a cleaning business. This is what I do for a living. I'm a professional, I do this for a living, and it's what I do, it's what I know. And yet even I have problems with this, and that's why I'm putting it out there. It's not just, if you're having trouble cleaning your house or keeping your house clean, it's so easy to beat yourself up. And I have seen ladies just crying because their mom would be so ashamed of them, or the grandma would be so ashamed of them because they can't keep their house clean. But there's so many things that can distract you or make it harder for you to do it, and just in my own example, I'm older, I work 2 jobs, I have a handicapped person that I'm trying to take care of, and I do physical work for a living, and that makes it hard for me. Well, there's lots of reasons why somebody might have trouble with, some people have mental illness and depression, and you don't want to clean. That's like a big thing with people who have depression. It starts showing in their house because things start piling up, and all of a sudden, their house doesn't look like it's being cared for properly. Or someone who has, a family member that's got special needs. I don't mean this facetiously, but Ray, he has a sore on his stump right now, and we're trying to get it to heal, and he's a diabetic, and he heals slowly. So when he has his prosthesis on, it gets hot and sweaty in there, and it keeps it all moist, and it's just a way for it to grow more bacteria. So he has to sit with the his prosthesis off so this thing could dry out and heal. Well, it's hard for him to get around without his prosthesis. Sure, he can crawl, but he can't reach things. It makes him the size, he'd be like the height of an 11-year-old, so he would need help, maybe even younger than that. But he's also, so what I'm saying is, it's like taking care of a toddler. Can you get me a drink? Can you make me a sandwich? Can you do this for me? It's not that he's not capable. Well, in a way, he kind of is not capable. He really doesn't. He could, but the counters are like chin level for him when he doesn't have his legs on, because he's got to crawl. You get what I'm saying? Or if he wants to cook something, he's got his face in the, you see what I'm saying? His face is right there at the level with the stove, and that's not safe, and so I'm not really saying it to be demanding. It's just the way that I'm not saying it to be mean. It's the way that it is. That's how I feel. He's not crying like a baby, okay? He's not. And he understands that, I get tired. We're actually thinking about getting a small refrigerator to put close to him, just so that, he can get something to drink without having to put his legs on, or having to crawl over there, or ask me to get it for him, just for convenience, really more for me than him, to be honest with you. But anyway, I am here at my customer's house, so I do want to thank you. If you rode with me this whole way, I hope you have a great day. I really, really do. I'm ready to get in there and start working, and the usual things. Please subscribe if you like these kind of videos. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up. It helps me out so much, and I will talk to you again real soon.